President of the Chamber of Region, Ms. Gudrun MOSLER-TORNSTROM. Welcome to our Mediabox. Could you please tell us the priorities, the main topics which we'll discuss in the Chamber of Region during the Congress 30th session?
Well, tomorrow we will have the Chamber of Regions and we will discuss two quite important topics. The first one is a report done by Karl-Heinz Lamberts on autonomy and borders in an evolving Europe. It's a kind of hot potatoes. It's very difficult question to deal with, but nevertheless we have to take it in consideration. It aims to determine principles, frameworks and processes for the protection and changes of status, responsibilities and borders, subnational entities in national law. So this sounds quite complicated, but in a way we have to think about the situation in Europe. If we look at Scotland, the referendum, we see there will be a referendum in Great Britain. We have the Catalonian question and so on. So here in our Congress, in our chamber, we have the chance to discuss between different member states. We have 47 member states. Here their input, here their point of view, and we try to find solutions for those difficult questions. There is not one answer, there are many. This is one report we have, and then we have a thematic debate, and this is also a very important debate for our chamber. It's a study on evolution of regionalization in Congress of Europe member states, and the presentation is done by a former president of the independent expert group, and he will talk about trends in regionalization. It's a follow-up of earlier studies, and it's even a follow-up of an earlier study we have done here in the Congress. Like last meeting, we talked about trends of regionalizations and where do we go, in which direction do we go to. And tomorrow on this debate it will be very interesting, because on one point we have the input of an expert, of the independent expert group, and then we asked our heads of delegations which come from regions to tell out of their point of view what are the trends of regionalization in your country, what are just in the framework of the ongoing crisis in Europe. And I'm very surprised 14 member states announced that they will talk tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion, and it will bring us a step further. And just the regionalization has shown in the crisis period now that regions were those areas who could manage the crisis better than others. So this will be quite an interesting discussion.
It also shows the importance of the Chamber of Region in the Congress
Yes.
as well. And beside that, as we know, Congress adopted its priorities for 2017 and 2020. So what are the main points of this agenda? What would you like to say about that?
Well, we haven't adopted yet, but it's work in progress, and we have been coming quite a long way. And we were discussing it on Monday for ongoing discussion on the priorities for the next for the years 2016 till 2020, and then there I'm very glad, as the president of the Chamber of Regions, that for the first time there is specifically mentioned the promoting regional democracy. And now we have paragraphs in the priorities where we show the balance, and the important balance on promoting local democracy on one hand, and on the other hand the regional democracy. democracy. And as I said in my earlier statement, regions are gaining more and more on importance. So this is very new, that we will have this insight. And the priorities have many door openers, I say, for very important themes we have to deal with in Europe now. For instance, the refugee crisis, of course, the awareness of raising of human rights at local and regional level, especially important now. In connection with the refugee crisis, we see that the awareness is not good, so we have to promote it a lot better. Then we have the rights and protection of minorities. Also a question is gaining on importance. Underprivileged and vulnerable populations. This is our work. The core value of the Congress is to defend human rights, to defend rules of law and democracy. And in the crisis situation we are in, all of our member states, our work has to be strong and is more important than ever. And I told the members, we are the multiplicators. When we go home in our countries, we can work for it, and we have the instruments we are developing here in the Congress, and we should use them, and we will use them.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. President, and good luck for
Thank
session.
You. Thank you very much.